Okay, once upon a time there was a young boy who was being followed. Suddenly, as the sun went down, the young boy was nowhere to be seen. What could have happened to the young boy? Could he have been attacked? Something had to give. Could the young boy have been murdered in the forest? There were some clues. There was an item of clothing that was left behind. It turned out to be the young boy who was attacked in the forest. The man who was aged in his 20s faced a life sentence in prison. Questions were still needed to be answered. Why was the young boy targeted? Why was the man following him? One thing that we know is that the young boy was brutally attacked. The next day, the parents of the young boy, they still wanted answers. They were shocked by what happened to their son. The young boy who was aged 12, he went on a school trip with his school. They went to a forest in Nottingham where they would stay over and do some activities. However, there was a man that appeared out of nowhere, and when the young boy was looking for some wood, the man brutally attacked him. The school teacher contacted the ambulance and the young boy was rushed to the hospital, but it's believed he later died in the hospital. The young boy who was from the Doncaster area, he went to school in Doncaster. The following day, the investigation continued. The man would appear at Doncaster Magistrates Court, where he'd face a minimum of 30 years in prison for the murder of the 12-year-old boy. The man who was named as Dale Christensen, who was in the Navy from West Yorkshire, he would be serving a minimum of 30 years following the murder of the young boy, who was named as Julian O'Sullivan. The following day, the parents of Julian O'Sullivan arrived into court and they got justice, what they were looking for. Dale Christensen was arrested for 30 years. Judge Stephen O'Keefe explained his reasons for his decision. He said that it was deliberate what Dale Christensen did. The next day, Dale Christensen was driven away and was put behind bars. The next day, Julian O'Sullivan's parents organised the funeral of Julian O'Sullivan. He thanked everyone for their support in what was a very difficult time for them. The next day, Julian O'Sullivan's friends were still trying to come to terms with the loss of what was described as a young boy who was very bright, who loved his music. He loved hanging around and playing in the playground. The following day, the family put some slideshows up so everybody could have a look at the photos of Julian O'Sullivan. Later that evening, the family had dinner. They decided they would go to a restaurant in Doncaster. The next day, the family went to the racecourse at Doncaster Races. They went to watch the horse racing before they went home and settled down for the night. The following day, the family decided they would go on holiday. They went on holiday to Milan. They checked into their apartment. They visited some really nice buildings in the city centre of Milan. Later that evening, they decided they would go to Italian school and have Italian lessons. The following day, they bought some shopping from the town centre in Milan before they would go to look around the museum. However, there was a thunderstorm. However, what was not known, is how bad the thunderstorm was. The next day, the family flew back to England because they had to go back to work. The next day, they went to work and they reflected on what was a really nice holiday in Milan. However, there was a power cut and they had to evacuate the nearest building. However, things would turn out not to be as bad as first feared, and the power cut only lasted a matter of seconds. The following day, they went to the supermarket to buy some shopping, but it wouldn't go right for the right reason. What they wanted to buy, they didn't have in the supermarket. They decided they would try another supermarket. They were really determined to make sure they got all the ingredients for the Sunday roast. They decided they would have a Sunday roast for their lunch. Later evening, they watched Sky News on the TV before they would go to bed because they had to work in the morning. They would have a chicken cashew curry with naan bread for their tea, and for dessert they would have a chocolate brownie. The following day, they went to work and they were getting on with their job, that needed to be done. So, however, things would not go right for the right reasons. The employer was starting to act really strange, doing some really strange things. It wasn't known why they were acting strange, but the employer was out of control. Later afternoon, their boss called them into the office and decided to get rid of them for how they were acting earlier on in the day. The employer was being really unkind to their staff. The following day, the employer who got fired, he tried to appeal the decision, insisting that he had too much to drink the night before, but the decision stood. The next day, the employer who lost his job out of nowhere came back. This was an upturn of events. How did this employer come back? Suddenly things were starting to heat up. Suddenly the employer was being followed by the police. However, the employer, who was named as Damien O'Reilly, he went on the run. He boarded a train towards Leeds suddenly. Damien O'Reilly, he broke through security. He stole a police car and drove off in the police car. The following day, Damien O'Reilly would go to court and will face life sentence for his involvement in stealing the police car from the police station. Also for going back to work when he had lost his job. The following day, Damien O'Reilly was drove to his police cell. He wouldn't speak to the workers who worked for him anymore. don't get a new employer and work for them instead of working for Damien Wright. Instead of working for Damien Wright, the following day, Damien Wright would try and re-appeal the decision, but he wasn't allowed to re-appeal the decision. In the end, Sam Jenkins, yeah, it were absolute spot. That's fine.
Yeah, recorded that.
Yeah, done.